Hey guys, welcome to another live video. Like I said in the last couple videos, I'm excited about some things coming in the next 30 to 40 days that we are working on to help you guys not only improve your physical health, but also work on disciplines and habits and as well as your mindset and spiritual health. I think they all three go together: your mindset, spiritual, and physical health. How you do anything and how you do everything. And once you get one area in track, most people, with me, being the coach, nutrition coach, starts with the physical side of it. And you can see that you build habits and disciplines to learn how to live a healthier, active lifestyle. And then you start learning how that plays out in other areas of life. And so, if you have a hard time saying no to certain foods, I bet you have a hard time saying no to certain situations or saying no to certain people, or if you have a hard time getting up in the morning at the same time so you can have your proper breakfast, I bet there's other areas in your life that you lack discipline. And this is going to be a lifetime of change, right? This isn't like you master one thing and then you're done getting better at stuff. Hopefully, this becomes a thing for your life, where you're constantly working to get 1% better every single day, every single week, and you have to take the time and ask yourself, how can I improve on to today? Because when you're not improving, you're going backwards, and that's it. But what I want to answer tonight, and if you guys have comments or questions, I want to try to get those to you as well. But I get asked, why 12-9 fitness? And as I talk about my past, because I think that's important to understand that where I came from and who I am and who I've become over the last 7 to 8 years, because I think it's going to be interesting to see where I'm at in another 7 to 8 years or 10 to 20 years. But 8 years ago, as I mentioned, I was overweight. I was miserable. I was tired. My relationships were falling apart. My work career had no insight. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. It wasn't something I wanted to do long term. I didn't like the environment I was in. I didn't like playing the corporate America games that our game played all the time. I just not that type of person. I realized that either I was going to be stuck in a job for 10 to 20, 30, 40, 50 years that I didn't enjoy, in an environment I didn't enjoy, wasting away my life, or I could do something about it. But I didn't know how to do it because at the same time I felt miserable. I felt like a loser. Um, Gaining all the weight, being a Division I athlete, right? So more backgrounds, athlete all my life. And one thing I learned was the harder I work, the more time and energy I put forth, the more solutions I could solve, which are all great things, right? And still principles I live by today. The more energy and effort and strength I put into something, I can overcome and get good at it. If I need to get better at my feet work and in football, guess what? I could spend more time and energy and hours on it and get better. If I had to get stronger in the weight room, I could spend more time in the weight room, and I would get stronger, right? Those things are just naturally that happen. But when I got to corporate America, and when I got married, and when my life just started unraveling, I kept on trying harder. I kept on trying to do those things. And so when I was trying to lose weight, I was pushing myself for 6 years to lose weight, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't figure out why. And when I couldn't figure it out why things weren't working out the way I needed them to, I started getting down on myself and falling into dark places. When I tried to love my wife more and try to do more things, I just couldn't understand why things weren't working out no matter how hard I felt like I was trying. I started going deep places and feeling sorry for myself, right? I felt like I was dropping the ball, or I couldn't be the man I was supposed to be. The longer hours I worked in corporate America and the more happy hours I took my clients and the more positions I filled in my job, I was a staffing and recruiting, the more clients and sales I broke, yet things weren't moving in my career like I planned them to. And it was like I was putting all this time and energy and power into something, my own effort, for it not to work out. And when it didn't work out, I just started feeling more and more miserable. I don't know how many of you guys have ever been to that point where you're just like, I don't know what's going on. I just need to fix the problem. And one area of my life that really needed to get back on track was my spiritual life. Like, I stopped reading the Bible, and I stopped praying, and I stopped meditating, and I knew it was still there, but I didn't have time for that, right? I had to fix these problems um, in this area and not focus on this area. Spiritual, prayer, God, meditation, studying the Word, understanding how that applies to my life, that could wait. I had to fix my career, I had to fix my relationship, I had to fix my weight. That's how I was thinking. I was just in this dark spot with this divide right here. And through a few circumstances, I was just being broken. I was being humbled. I started to get back in the Word, and I read 2 Corinthians 12:9. And that's where 12:9 fit comes from, because I realized no matter where you're at in life, fitness and health is so much more than just physical. It's your heart and it's your mind. And in 2 Corinthians 12:9, 7 through 11, basically Paul, who was this amazing dude who is smarter than anybody you know, who knew history like crazy, had his life transformed, gave his life to Christ, started impacting lives all over the place, making mountains move, was doing some incredible things, but he had this thorn. We don't know what that thorn is. We just know it was a pain to him that he wanted to be removed. And so he kept on praying, like, remove these pains. Like, God, I'm trying harder. Why don't you remove and fix this relationship? I'm trying as hard as I can. How come I can't get the promotion? How come the more time I put in my energy in the gym, and how come I can't lose weight? And I was just like putting all this energy in, but these things, these thorns in my side, these things I just wanted removed would not go away and not be fixed. And in 2 Corinthians 12:9, Paul gets this revelation, and it simply says, my grace is sufficient for you, for power is perfected in weakness. Then Paul says, most gladly, therefore, I will rather boast about my weakness, so that the power of Christ may dwell in me. Therefore, I am well content with weaknesses, with insults, with distresses, with persecutions, with difficulties for Christ's sake, for I am weak, then I am strong. And it really took me on this journey, and I'm still on this journey, and I pray that I'm continue to be on this journey for the next how many years till God calls me home. And it's this idea and this thought that I have to give up whatever strength and power I have and rely on His strength, understanding I don't have what it takes. I don't have what it takes to get the courage to speak on this live video and share part of my past. And as we go in the future, I'll be sharing more and more. And I don't have the strength to lead a team that is in 5 different countries. I wouldn't have that strength. I'd be so stressed out and worn out. I wouldn't have the strength to trust my heart when I felt like He was calling me to start my own business and quit my full-time job. That's not anything because I felt confidence in doing that. It was because I felt like He was leading me in that direction. And I said, if your scripture is true and this is where you're calling me, it's going to be sacrificial to leave the income that I was in to start a brand new business. But if that's what you're calling me to do, I understand I have to humble myself and I have to be weak, because I'm going to have to learn a lot of different things and trust on you. And I can't tell you over the last 7.5, 8 years how many times He's come through. Those times I'm like, all right, God, look, you put me in this situation. I'm not going to stress about it. I'm not freaked out about it. But something needs to move. Teach me, show me, and then something happens. And so that's how 2 Corinthians 12:9 came, 12:9 fitness. And one thing I do when I'm working with my customers is really teaching them how to get 1% better. And for instance, if you're in the health and you want to lose weight, you're fat for a reason. You just are. You're big, you're overweight, you let your physical health get away from you for a certain reason, like I did. And until you discover what that reason is, it doesn't matter how much I teach you or coach you or yell at you. My job is simply to encourage you and start taking steps to understand what it takes for you to get healthy. And a lot of it's education and self-realization, right? One of those phases is you can give a man a fish and eat for a day, or you can teach a man how to fish and eat for a lifetime. And so my job and our job is to teach you how to build some foundational habits that force you to get better and forces you to look into, okay, look, I didn't do very well today on that one, so how can I get better tomorrow? And then, all right, I did a little bit better, but how can I get better the next day? And that's a journey that we are all on in spiritual walks, in our relationships, in our careers, right? I think so oftentimes we get into this pattern where, you know what, it's not working out, so either I quit, or it's not working out, so I'm going to try harder. I'm going to try harder. I'm going to do this diet and that diet. I'm going to spend this time in the gym. I'm going to like measure all my food and I'm going to do all this stuff. And then you get so burnt out and overwhelmed because it's all on your power. And you have to understand that when you get better, you have to die a little bit and rely on a power better than you. Sometimes that's just gaining some knowledge. Sometimes that's taking the next step that's uncomfortable because that's where growth happens. But that's we're getting to that little in the future. But Second Corinthians, I can't all tongued up tied to 2 Corinthians 12:9 right now is that's how I came up with the 12:9 fitness, because I realized I had to continue to stop trying on my own power and just give it over to him. So I don't know, guys, there's some great things coming in the next 30 to 40 days to help transform your physical health, because that's where we'll start, but also your mindset and your heart. And so if you like, or if there's something you want me to talk about, or something you want to learn, or something you want us to dive into together, I'd love to do that. Just leave a comments here. Share this if you think someone needs to hear about this. I encourage you guys, your action step is, if you have a Bible, go open it. 2 Corinthians 12:9. Just read a few verses before that. Read a few verses after that. If you don't have a Bible, it's really cool. You can just Google 2 Corinthians 12:9 and read about it. And not just read about it, right? But sit there and reflect. Write it out. What does it mean to you? How can you apply it to your life? And what does that look like in your life? Otherwise, guys, you guys have a great night. Go find your mission. You know what that mission is because it's on your heart right now. You just need to follow it. Let's go.